And then Nelson does the shittiest thing imaginable. He goes, you know what, Mcginnis? He goes, what? And he spits in Terry's mouth. He goes, spits in his mouth. And Terry's like, what the fuck? And he punches him, and he punches him in the face. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single-player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video. Very nice, very nice. But chat, again, hope you have all been enjoying the stream so far. Hope you liked my review of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, chat. But now I must go ahead and get to my scene by scene breakdown of Batman the Animated, or excuse me, not Batman the Animated Series. I'm so used to saying Batman Animated Series, chat. But no, I'm reviewing the sequel series for the first time, Chad, of Batman Animated Series, Batman Beyond Episode 1, Rebirth Part 1. Now, this will be a little different, Chad, because I want to ask you a question. How many of you guys have seen Batman Beyond? Thank you, Katie, for the 10 minis. Welcome to stream. Ooh, everyone, my new favorite thing is watching the stream while cooking it. Oh, good. Very nice. What are you cooking tonight, Katie? I'm curious. I'm very curious. I had some ground turkey with mixed veggies today and black beans. That's quite good. That's quite good. But welcome. Hope you're doing very well. I guess it doesn't watch it and came out in 2000. Gotcha. Austin, yes, Flight and Wave. I will watch it, but I don't know where it is. It's on the DC All Access service. Thank you. Thank you, teammate, with the 5 biddies. Darkslayer's seen the series. I love it, Cassie, a little bit, but a long time. I've never seen John Q. Yeah, I haven't seen John Q. Teammate. No. Thank you, Glee, for the 100 biddies. Well, I love this show. Same. Who else we have here, Chad? Let's see. Harbo 1 been too long. MC, I've seen Batman Beyond, but don't remember too much. Oh, Steve, thank you for the host. Appreciate the host, Steve. Thank you. Sure, I've seen a few episodes. Katie, hot wings and salad. Nice. That sounds lovely. I would love to eat that. Very, very good. I also remember watching when I was younger and love going back to watch episodes. Win Fox, I love Batman Beyond. Even seeing the movie. I love Batman Beyond to the Joker. That movie review, chat, that scene by scene breakdown, a spoiler review, is on my YouTube channel, Class in the Glass. So that's the first thing of Batman Beyond that I have talked about and reviewed on stream. That's one of my favorite reviews I've ever done. Love that one. So please do check that out on my YouTube channel, chat. Highly recommend it. Love the theme song. The theme song was very good. It's funny, chat. I remember watching this when it first premiered in 1999. Big fan of the series. But people misremember, I think, this series a lot because when it first debuted, people hated it. A lot of people hated it, chat. A lot of people were very resentful over the fact that a teenage Batman show was the successor of the original animated series, chat. Like, this was a controversial move by Warner Brothers, chat. What happened was that Warner Brothers did cancel Batman animated series. You could bring back that show today and still do so many episodes, chat, dozens and dozens, and then hundreds of episodes. You can do all the story adaptations, original tales with that character, with those characters, with that cast. Chat, did such a great job. Bruce Timm and company, and they canceled the show because what Warner Brothers wanted is they wanted to do something that appealed to the younger kids, something that was more kid friendly. And they went back to Bruce Timm and said, "Would you like to work on something like this with your people?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'll give you a kid friendly Batman show." And he produced Batman Beyond, chat, which is even darker than the original animated series show. Like the episodes in this, it's like, oh my god, like, even how this series starts out. Just the tone, where it's set like in this dystopian Blade Runner-esque Gotham City, chat. It's like Gotham, and I guess technically it's like in the 2040s right now, like the late 2040s. Like, it's really, really interesting, and it immediately appealed to me when I first watched it, and still does to this day, chat. It's an excellent series. Thank you, Dark for the 5 days. I love when Beyond came out, such a different take on it. No, exactly, it was so original. I think that was part of it because it was such a different take. It was so original, and I think people were resentful over the fact that it was not the Batman animated series again, that it was canceled. But again, it was not Bruce Timm and his people's fault. It was Warner Brothers. And the idea of creating a more kid-friendly Batman show, a teenage Batman, I think when you just hear that, you're like, nah, I don't want that. But what Bruce Timm and his people created was amazing, Chet. Now that's another show I wish went on for longer, because I think it only got like 60 or 59 episodes, Chet. And even ends pretty awkward. Like the last episode's like, that's kind of weird. It kind of just like, yeah, it's over. But thankfully, they did the animated film Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, which is my favorite DC animated film of all time, chat. Kind of acts as an ending of that series. And they also did the epilogue episodes, chat, for Batman Beyond and Justice League Unlimited, which is also excellent, chat. Answered a lot of questions. Controversial decisions on their part in terms of how that ended up, but they gave it a sense of an ending. A sense of a finality, Chad, which was missing from its original run, and also acted as an end to the original Batman animated series as well for a lot of those characters. Thank you, Katie, for the tips. I love me, Terry McGinnis. Terry McGinnis is a great character. And what an excellent voice cast, Chad. Not only do you bring people back like Kevin Conroy, who's already fresh off of doing Batman the animated series, Chad, in the new Batman and Robin Adventures, but you bring him back to play an even older, more grizzled, more darker, just kind of downcast, downtrodden Bruce Wayne. And I love, he does such a great job. The writing on this show is excellent, and the relationship between this older, grizzled Bruce and his I guess the new Batman, really his new assistant, chat, Terry McGinnis, famously voiced by Will Friedle, chat, probably best known for playing the character Eric Matthews on Boy Meets World, and he's gone on to have a very successful voice acting career since Batman Beyond, chat. Played Ron Stopple and Kim Possible, chat. I know he played Star-Lord in that Guardians of the Galaxy TV show. I mean, you always hear his voice popping up, chat. He's a real talent. Always seems like a really nice guy. And so I instantly fell in love with Batman Beyond as a kid, Chad. I remember watching like week to week. There was just so many disturbing episodes that stand on my mind. Just images. Like I remember the Mr. Freeze episode. Like I even love how they incorporate older villains back in the series show. Like the Mr. Freeze episode where Mr. Freeze has been like in prison for like 40 years with that severed head, and they gave him a second chance, but as like for a new body, but he's falling apart, Chad. And he straight up murders. I've never seen a children's cartoon like this of the time where the body count is so high. People die in this series, Chad, often. It's not like, oh, that person probably died in that episode. It's like, no, they died. It's like, no, it's like, oh, it's implied. No, that fucker died. And like, I was shocked, like, especially what they do with Mr. Freeze is great. The Splicer episode, also a great choice. A lot of body horror in this series. The stuff they do with ink is very disturbing. I think that's like the third episode. I'm trying to think what else did they do. The episode where, I don't know how to describe it, chat, where this guy's exposed to these toxic chemicals underneath the earth, and he's like this plant creature, but he can't move, and he's just like in a state of hell, and he sacrifices himself at the end to save, like, I think his daughter or something. It's all these stuff to stick in my mind. The other one where another Ink episode. Ink is an excellent villain. That's like kind of, I wouldn't say it's like Terry's Joker, but in terms of like, that's a recurring villain. That's the one I think Ink typically recurs the most throughout the series. She's a really interesting character, really interesting Batman villain, and they expand upon her in the comics. But I remember this one episode where you have this basically this guard, Chad, who becomes obsessed with her. She's in a state of animation. He imagines this relationship with her, and he wants to be like her, and she tricks him and becomes all fucking mutated. It's just really interesting stuff they do in this series, and it's all very dark. I'm like, I don't know if I should be watching this as a little kid. So the Teenage Batman show, the show for kids, was anything but, Chad. Like, it's darker than the original animated series, and probably the darkest thing that Bruce Timm and his people did during their tenure on the DCAU. When you look at Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited, and Static Shock as well. And I'll even count the Zeta Project, sure, as a spinoff of Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond, I think, still remains the darkest of all their shows. I think it was just the setting and a lot of the stories and what happens with the characters, and just the murder rate in that series it stands out. It stands out to me. Ink with yeah, exactly. That's a good comparison. Ink was very much the series' Clayface. Very good. Yeah, Spellbinder. Yeah, bro, what they do with Ra's al Ghul and Bane's fate, chat. Yeah, it's also a really rewarding show, because if you watch the previous series, Batman the Animated Series, you see what happens to all these characters, chat, and you have all this context. It's like, oh my god. A lot of the times it's pretty sad. We see Barbara Gordon. She's now commissioner of the GCPD, taking over her father's place. She's been a little more grizzled, chat. hardened by her life. That's the word, hardened. She's been hardened by her life, and so is Bruce. And yeah, it was a really unique evolution of those shows, and we see these characters and how they ended up in very sad, lonely places. I mean, it's a dark ending for a lot of them, no question about it. But it was interesting, and it always stood out to me, chat. And when initially it debuted, it did not get a lot of love and appreciation. Even reviewers didn't like it. And I'm like, now in hindsight, this it's brilliant. Well, it's like, yeah, well, you didn't say that at the time. So I loved the show. I loved it then. No retroactive thinking with me. I've always really appreciated it, and it's a classic now. It's a Stalker. Yeah, the Stalker. Remember that too? Kind of like a Craven the Hunter-esque character. Yeah, now to the point where Batman Beyond, he's gotten his own comics. I would love to see a live-action Batman Beyond movie someday, Chat. I think that would be amazing. I have my fan casting. You know, my one idea for my fan casting, I think it would be great to have Will Friedle play Warren Mcginnis, Terry's father in the first film, as a way of paying homage, respect. I think that'd be kind of unique and interesting. I don't know who I would cast as Terry. But Ace, kind of like the Catwoman of the series, very good point, Austin. Yeah, it's just a really great show. I'm happy to be reviewing this, because watching this first episode, Chad, there's a lot that happens here. The setup to this episode is beautiful. But yeah, I was just curious about your guys' general thoughts and if you'd seen the series. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm very excited to start reviewing this for you guys. I was even like watching this. I'm like, maybe I should do commentaries for this. Honestly, maybe I'll shoot this on as another Patreon series I'll do on my Patreon. You get access to these commentaries. I don't know. I'm giving it some thought. You let me know, Chad. You give me some feedback. This is a 2-part episode. We're reviewing part 1 though tonight. And it starts out brilliantly, Chap, because it starts off like a few years, about I'm going to say 20 years after the events of the original Batman animated series, Chap. So all the stuff with the Joker has already happened. We see Gotham, it's kind of on the precipice now between the old and the new world. That dystopian Blade Runner-esque world is on the horizon, chat. The episode opens up, and we see these criminals in this warehouse, chat. They've kidnapped this very wealthy girl, part of this wealthy family, asking for $5 million, and they got their $5 million, but they have no intention of releasing her anytime soon, chat. Matter of fact, they intend to murder her. They even say, okay, finish her off. It's like, oh my God. I was like, wow. It's just funny you forget about certain things in the show. It's like, oh, it wasn't that dark. And you're like, holy shit, they're going to kill this girl. And they have like the television going, chat, and we just realized, or we just learned that apparently there was almost a hostile takeover of Wayne Enterprises by Powers. Oh God, what's his name? Derek. This is Derek Powers. Hold on, I closed my tabs, chat. Apologies. I want to make sure I get this right. Batman Beyond Episode 1 Rebirth. Yeah, it's like Gotham Cyberpunk. Yeah, exactly. Let me make sure to get the names of all these characters right. Sometimes I forget, chat. I'm not used to... No, it's not Austin Powers. There's Derek Powers. Okay, it's Derek Powers. I was right. I just wanted to be sure, chat. I haven't seen the series in a long time, so some of the names might escape me. But there was an attempted hostile takeover of Wayne Enterprises by Derek Powers, chat, and the Powers Corporation. They're kind of one of the biggest companies in the world, and they are established in Gotham City, kind of as a rival to Bruce Wayne and Wayne Enterprises. But Bruce hold them off with his investors, but they're talking about a possible merger going through between Wayne Enterprises and Powers Industries. And then, lo and behold, that's what happens in the series, chat. But, we see an older picture. We see a picture of Bruce Wayne as a much older man, Chad, gray-haired and everything. It's like, oh, my God. And it's still, you can see it's an evolution of the way he looked from the new Batman Robin Adventures, Chad. They just grade him. There's a little more lines around him. It's like, okay, this is definitely taking place in the future, Chad. 20 years later after the events of the flashback and Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. And we see outside, Chad, Batman, he just beat the shit out of a criminal. Just beat the shit out of him, Chad. Just punched him right in his goddamn face. So he's still as tough as hell, Chad. But he's no longer adorned in the cape and cowl, Chad. He is wearing the black and red full face mask of what is typically called the Batman Beyond suit, Chad. And this one has a lot more gadgets, Chad. So in his old age, Batman, Bruce, has had to make up for, being slower and having more health problems, Chad. So it's a lot more technologically advanced. And it kind of feels like a combination between the bat suit and an Iron Man suit. Has rocket boots, chap, has various gadgets across his belt, shocky hands, got electrical hands, a lot of different things. It's pretty cool. And so he blasts, because he doesn't even have the grappling hook anymore, because he can't hold his weight up anymore, Chad. He's too weak now. But he blasts up to the rooftop, and he lands on top of the scaffold, and he looks down, and he sees the girl, and sees these guys counting all this money. And they finish counting the $5 million, and they go, okay, kill her. fucking kill her. And I was like, hey, come here, little girl. And they guy pulls out a fucking knife. He's gonna slit her throat, chat. Batman's like, don't do that. And he comes down, chat, and he fucking starts punching all of them, chat, throwing them around. And he's just like, yeah, Batman's back. He might be a little older, might be a little slower, probably can't see that well, but he's still got it, chat. And he's showing them who Batman is, just throwing him and smacking around, backhand him, chat. But all of a sudden, he looks like Blind Fury Cop, chat, because it's his heart. Apparently, Bruce has developed a heart condition, chat, and his chest immediately seizes up. And he almost collapses on himself, but he sees the girl and she looks terrified. And he fucking musters all the strength he can, chat, to get back up and go over to her, asking her if she's okay. Are you okay? Like, he's still, even despite being hardened, chat, by his life and by this disease that's afflicting his body, he's still trying to calm these people down, make sure they're safe. And she tries to say something, chat, but she's been gagged. And just at the last minute, chat, before Bruce cuts her away from her bonds, she gets fucking smacked right in the back of the head with a crowbar, and he fucking goes down. And this guy is just saying above him, and he's just like, man, I used to hear about you all the time as a kid. And you're always making our lives hard for guys like me. And now I get to be the guy that fucking killed the Bat. And he just starts beating Bruce to death with a crowbar, chat. Very reminiscent of the Joker. Just bad. You see it in shadow because the girl's just watching this, and we see the shadow behind her, chat, as this guy's just hitting Bruce over and over and over again with the crowbar. So he fucking kicks him. He kicks him, and Bruce, he lands right next to this other body, chat, near these barrels, and there's a gun right to his side, and the guy comes over and is like, well, I guess I get to be the guy that finishes off the Bat, and he raises the crowbar over his head, chat, for the death blow, and Batman, he grabs the gun and points it at the guy, and he's shaking while he's doing it. The guy goes, whoa, take it easy, okay, I give up. He's like, fuck, don't shoot me. He runs away. And Batman he's still holding the gun like this, and he does the thing he would never use, chat. He would never use the weapon, the object, chat, that murdered his parents to fight crime with or to threaten people with. The one thing that he probably hates more than anything, chat, and he used it to threaten to shoot a man. And he's just so disgusted with himself, he just drops the gun. He drops the gun, and he just leaves. You can hear the cops outside coming. They surround the guy. They arrest him. They go inside. They get the girl. We just see Batman just by a wall, barely breathing, clutching his chest, chat, and takes his mask off, and he's just so ashamed with himself. He's so incredibly ashamed. And we cut back to the Batcave, chat. We see the mantle of all the costumes, original Batman costume. Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, and he has the Batman Beyond costume right there, and he puts it back in there, and he looks around the Batcave. We see all the iconic imagery from the original series, shed the giant Joker card, the penny, the Two-Face penny, the dinosaur, the ventriloquist, Harley Quinn's outfit, all the outfits of all the villains he's ever stopped, Chad. You see some other memorabilia in there. I mean, I think a lot of these villains have died themselves. And then he walks up the stairs to slowly check because he can't move. Alfred's fucking dead at this point. Alfred's dead. And he goes up there. He's completely alone. Like, there's no Batgirl. There's no Robin, Chad. He's completely alone. And he looks at the Batcave like one last time. He says, never again. And he shuts all that shit down. He walks up. And then it like cuts in. It's like 20 years later, chat. We are now in Neo-Gotham. And, you know, it's Gotham of the future, but is it the bright and shining star that it promised to be all those years ago, chat? Doesn't look like it, because we are now on a monorail system, chat. Monorail system, the hallmarks, public transportation in Gotham City, and we see all these people, and the fashions have changed. Like, I just love it. It's very much a cyberpunk. It's Batfleck, a better version of Batfleck, if you will. Even though I don't blame Ben Affleck for his performance as Batman. I blame Zack Snyder. I think he would have made a great Batman in a Batman Returns adaptation. They did the actual the Dark Knight Returns. Had they done that, I think it would have been great. It's just a one film, good. He would have nailed it, but we didn't get that, sadly. And we're on this monorail system, Chad. I just love it how it's just, Gotham itself looks so distinctly different than how it originally did, Chad. Because remember the original series, it was Art Deco, it was Gothic architecture. You know, it took a note from the Batman films, but also that Art Deco that Bruce Timm and his people always loved. Felt like a combination would be true, and all of that's gone. That we see parts of that Gotham in certain episodes of the series as Bruce like goes to certain sections that are just about to be destroyed. But like that Gotham is nowhere to be seen now. It's all these giant monoliths, these giant phallic Black Colossus is just going out into the sky, chat, above the clouds and things. It's just not the Gotham City we're used to. Thank you, Dr. The 5 days. Very shui, if you will. It's very shui. It's very shui. And we see the fashion chat, and like I said, gentrification. Yeah, absolutely, gentrification. And we see inside the train car, everyone looks like a character from Cyberpunk, chat. Piercings, mechanical parts attached to them. The clothes are all very bright colors, blues, pinks, greens, chat. It's very distinct. A lot of people coming on. We see a news report, chat, of Wayne Enterprises and Powers Industries. They have since combined, chat, and now they're Wayne and Powers Enterprises now at this point. And Derek Powers, he's pretty much the leader of the company, and Bruce Wayne has become a bit of recluse, chat. It's funny, like Playboy Bruce Wayne, the Prince of Gotham City, and now he's just this old man that no one thinks about or talks about anymore. It's just interesting, chat. Like in the first 5, they do all this in the first 5 minutes of this setting. It's a brilliant intro to all this. I really admire it. And although, chat, there apparently some influences of the old Gotham have still taken effect and taken hold, chat, and it doesn't look like they are letting go anytime soon, because we have all these people on this train, chat, the doors open, and what walks in, chat? The Joker. Or we think is the Joker, chat, but it's actually a Joker, part of the Jokers with a Z, street gang, chat. These guys pay homage in honor of the Joker and have adopted his clownish facade, chat. So despite being one of the greatest villains, a career criminal, chat, a murderer, a monster, a psychopath, as Bruce says in Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, there are people who dress up like him and still carry out his chaos, chat. But that was interesting how they Gotham's greatest villain, and how his influence and his impact is still felt to this day, 40 years after his death. It's really fascinating to me. And so he goes on there and he instantly just starts spray painting all these things. He just starts fucking harassing, but just fucking with them. And he homes in on this one woman who just wants nothing to do with him, chat, just this girl. And he's like, how you doing, sweetheart? Oh, aren't you going to pay me for that performance I just did? She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I just painted you a picture right now. You can give me something, can't you? You don't have any money? That's okay. I can think of a few things we can do later on. It's just fun. Like, yeah, I'm gonna rape you. It's like, oh my God, like there's a lot of subtle sexual innuendo in a lot of the Batman shows, but especially in this one, chat. There's a joke coming up, but he's like, yeah, either pay me or I'm gonna fucking rape you. And then, chat, out of the goddamn darkness of the monorail, chat, comes the hero of this series. Now who you'd expect to be Batman, chat, but Terry Mcginnis, young high school student Terry Mcginnis, a delinquent, chat, did a couple of months at juvie. And he comes over, he says, why don't you leave the lady alone? He goes, fucking fuck off, asshole. And Terry grabs this guy who's twice as big as he is, and he fucking flips him over his shoulder, chat, throws him at the TV, boom! Sparks are flying, all that shit. And the Joker's like, holy fucking shit, you fucked with the wrong guy. And he gets off the goddamn car. And by the way, no one in the train wants to help this woman either. Terry was the only one to go up and help her. And he's like, are you okay? And she goes, I'm fine, thank you. He goes, no problem. Jokers. He hates them, Jokers. Slag him. And then we go to Gotham High School, chat. I forget the name of the high school is, but he goes there. And we're introduced to two characters, chat. Dana, who is the girlfriend of Terry Mcginnis, and also another girl. I'm trying to remember what her name is. I don't remember the name at the top of my head, chat, but it's one of Dana's friends, blonde hair girl, the blonde bombshell, and they're talking. Apparently, just got a swim practice, and Dana's just like, well, you going to the next class, and her friend's like, well, I'm gonna go see Nelson. Apparently, he's fighting your boyfriend right now, doing a little wrestling in gym, and he's like, all right, let's go ahead and check that out. Maybe we can walk the class together. Thank you, Dr. 5 days. Interesting how Bruce tried so hard to change Gotham, but it ultimately didn't matter. One man killing many crime. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, man. When you think about that, despite everything. Using both his wealth to try to change it, and also his Batman, and it kind of got worse. Yeah, it's sad. It's really, really sad. They're not Shui. But yeah, that's a great point, Darkseid. Excellent point. Yeah, man, it's sad. It's just sad to think that, but it's true. So Dana and her friend, they go to the wrestling match, and Dana's like, "Oh, my money on Terry. I think you shouldn't be underestimated." But Dana's friend's just like, "I don't know. Nelson's pretty good at wrestling." She's like, How would you know?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry, I know." And it's like, because you fucking have sex with him. That's what it is. Like, again, the subtlety, chat. The subtlety with the sexual innuendo. It's like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But I like that because that's what like high school students would insinuate. It's very interesting how Bruce Timm managed to get all of this and all of his writers, Paul Dini and such, we were able to get this all underneath the censors chat and like, yeah, we just gotta be a little careful. But wink, wink, you know what it's all about. They do this to great effect in Justice League Unlimited as well. But we see Nelson, Chad, and Terry McGinnis. They're wrestling, Chad. They're wrestling. And, Nelson, he's just kind of trying to intimidate McGinnis, like they're using his bulk, Chad, his muscles, his physicality. McGinnis, he just, answers his bravado with sarcasm. And then Nelson does the shittiest thing imaginable. He goes, "You know what, McGinnis?" He goes, "What?" And he spits in Terry's mouth. He goes, spits in his mouth. And Terry's like, "What the fuck?" And he punches him, in the face. I'm like, all this is in the first 5 minutes of this episode, chat. Another character spat in the mouth of our lead. And he goes, "What the hell?" It punches him. That's your natural reaction. What do you do? What do you do when someone spits in your mouth, chat? You're going to punch him in the face. That's just how it's going to be, okay? This person who you're wrestling with, and not in a sexual way or anything like that, but it's like, ew, punch. And then Nelson's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then fucking they're fighting and shit. And the gym coach, he comes over, he's like, "Get out of here, McGinnis, you're a menace." He's like, "But he fucking spat in my mouth." He goes, "It doesn't matter. You threw the first punch." And, McGinnis is like, "Slag this, forget this." And he goes on his way, and Dana, she's like, "Ooh, that's not good. That's going to lead to some repercussions later on." And later on, chat, we are now at Wayne Enterprise, or Wayne and Powers Enterprises. Chat, we're introduced to the character of Warren McGinnis, the father of Terry McGinnis, chat, and he's typing away and stuff, but there's a certain person that comes up to talk with him, chat. He's very, very concerned. It's a friend of his. I forget the guy's name, but I believe it's I think his name is like Tully or something. Harry Tully. Harry Tully, chat, is a friend of Warren McGinnis, and he's like, "Listen, Warren, I gotta talk to you. Can you meet with me in like 5 minutes?" And he goes, "Sure, Harry. Is everything okay?" He's like, I can't talk to you right here. We're gonna meet outside." And he notices something on his wrist, like these black marks. These black marks with this red outline, showing like a really bad skin rash. He's like, "Okay." And later, Tully, he's just standing out there, chat, just really concerned. "Thank goodness for another 5 minutes. Even the future school suck at punishing bills." Yeah, the father. Yeah, you know what I'm referring to with these graphics. Yeah, don't worry, chat. We'll come to that. We'll come to that someday. I'll do all the DCAU someday on this stream. Everything: Superman, Chad, Justice League, Static Shock, even the Zeta Project, Chad. Who knows? But Warren, he goes to meet Harry Tully, and Harry's like, "Will you follow? And he goes, "No." He's like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" He's like, "Listen, there is some really nefarious, crazy shit going on with Wayne and Powers Enterprise. Okay, it's Derek Powers. Yeah, he doesn't want me to reveal this. Okay, but take this disc. If anything happens to me, you release this to the press." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, just take it." And all of a sudden, chat, these guys come up from like out of the goddamn darkness, and you get this one guy, this huge fucking scar. He goes, "Mr. Tully, Mr. Powers would like to see you right now for your meeting." He goes, "No, get away from me!" And he tries to run away, chat, but the guards, they tase him, he's like, "Yeah!" And he falls down, chat, and his shirt rolls up, and he has all these these deformed looking black and red splotches all over his back. And Warren's like, "What the hell is this?" And he goes to the guy, and he goes, "What's wrong with him?" And the guy's like, touches Warren's shoulder, and he goes, "Don't worry about it. We got this, okay?" And he grips a little tighter, and they take this man away. And eventually, Derek Powers, chat, who's, I guess, kind of Terry's ultimate enemy in the series, certainly in the first season, he wants to talk with Warren. He goes, "Oh, apologies for that, Mr. McGinnis. You're such a good worker for us. You're so good at your job. Didn't want you to see something like that." Mr. Tully, Harry, the hair stir. That's what we call him. That's our little nickname, right? That's what you call him. He's working on some stuff, and he was exposed to some toxic chemicals. You might have seen some splotches on his skin. It's fine. It's fine. That can be easily remedied. But sadly, it made him a little erratic, and he's currently getting the medical attention that he needs right now. Warren's like, "Oh, I'm good to hear that." I was concerned. He's like, of course. We here at Wayne Powers, and you can even say when he says Wayne, he hates the fact that Wayne's name's in front of his. I love the politics between Bruce and Derek later on in the series when we get to both of them. It's fascinating to me. But I love that little subtlety in his voice. Wayne, and Powers Industries always cares about their employees. And he goes, that's why I love working for this company, sir. He goes, yeah, I know. Hey, just wanted to ask. Did Harry, good old Harry, did he pass along any information to you that might have been relevant to the project he was working on? And Mcginnis goes, no, apologies, he didn't. No, he didn't mention it. And he goes, okay. Well, Warren, you go ahead and get back to work. Don't want to stop you. The clock's run out, man. You have a great day. I'll be sure to get coffee with you in the morning. Bye, Warren, bye. And he goes to his guy, with the scar on his face. He goes, yeah, he has it. Take care of it. And it's like, holy shit, there's some corporate espionage shit going down. Thank you, Ben, to the 5 minis. Every time Bruce looks at him, he's thinking of ways to make him talk. I know, I love it. Man, Bruce, the animation in this show, particularly for Bruce Wayne and his just, because this is Bruce that doesn't have the facade anymore of like, oh, I'm the Playboy guy. He's like, I know you're full of shit. And he'll say it up front. I love old man Bruce Wayne shit. It's so good. It's so good seeing him this way. Because that's his natural element. He's a curmudgeonly old man, Chad. His body finally caught up with his attitude. Very good point. But we then cut to the Mcginnis residence, Chad, Warren Mcginnis' home, which he has with his son. Apparently, Warren is divorced from his wife, Mary. I forget the boy's name, the youngest child's name. Oh, shit. I'll think of it in a minute. Thank you. Show for the 10 minutes. My heart's a pitter-pattering. Thank you so much. What's the kid's name, Chad? Forget, but he has a younger brother. Anyway, they're divorced, and Terry lives with his dad while the younger son, he lives. Max. It's Max. Is of Mary Mcginnis. And Warren, he's going over this information, realizes like, oh my God, this chemical that they're developing is not used for medical purposes as a weapon of war. He's like, holy shit, this is horrible. This could, at least people are dying because of this whole testing. And he doesn't realize this, but then Terry walks in and he goes, hey Dad, I'm gonna go out. He goes, Terry, you can't go out, you're grounded. He goes, listen, I wasn't the one who caused the fight. He's like, yeah, well, you sure as shit finished it, okay? You punched that kid in the face, and Terry's like, this isn't fair, and he punches the wall, and he goes, see, that's your problem, Terry. That's your problem. You can't control your anger, okay? You got to keep that in check, bud. It's like, or you're never going to get anywhere with life if you act this way. It's like, oh, yeah, and be as successful as you. And Warren's like, excuse me? He goes, I don't need this. I don't need to slag it. He's like, Terry, come back. Terry. And Terry just leaves. He goes, oh, Jesus. So he's just so frustrating. Terry, he goes away, Chad, and all of a sudden we see this one car, this windowless back diddler van pull up with the guy with the scar on his face, Chad. Derek Powers' boy. His henchman number one, Chad, and he's looking, he's like, there's the residence, let's go in. But meanwhile, Chad, we cut to Terry, and we cut to Dana and her friend, and they're going to this hot new club that's just opening in Neo Gotham, and Terry surprised her. She just goes, oh, Terry, I didn't think you'd be out tonight. He's like, I gave myself early parole. She goes, aha, so funny. Well, does he want to go dancing, get some drinks? He goes, goddamn right, babe, goddamn right. And so they're about to go in, Chad, but then who fucking pulls up in their fancy goddamn car? Nelson from earlier, Chad. He goes, oh, this asshole, I gotta deal with him. And Nelson, he says like a little sarcastic thing to Terry. He's like, hey Terry, do you like that drink earlier? And he's like referring to this when he spat in his mouth. He's about to go fucking kick his ass right here. But he's like, no, not tonight, I want to dance. He goes, okay, let's just dance. And it's like, all right, fine. And then, Chad, something else is bad about to happen because all of a sudden the fucking Jokers arrive, this roving Joker gang, like very Akira-inspired, Chad, the Jokers. They come in. And they're riding all these goddamn motorcycles. Their leader, Chad, of game looks very close to resembling the original Joker from the animated series, Chad. Has the green hair, has the purple suit. Only thing that's different about his smile, he has a yellow smile instead of the red smile. But he just wants to fuck these people up. They attack Nelson. They beat the shit out of him. They're grabbing people, Chad, and just throwing them around as they're riding their motorcycles. Carrie's like, fuck this. And he goes over, he starts kicking all their asses, Chad. And he's like, that time in juvie served him well. And he manages to shit a lot of these Jokers, but there's just too many of them at this point. And Dana, they're like, you got to get out of here, okay? They're going to come after you. They're going to kill you. Terry, he's like, okay, but stay safe. Call the police right now. And he gets on one of the motorcycles, and he drives off trying to get the Jokers out of there so they stop attacking people. And we get this really cool chase The Joker's chasing after him, chat. He's dodging in between the traffic. We see, like, the cars, chat. Like, we got flying cars in this series. Got the flying cars and everything. Pretty goddamn cool. A lot of the stuff is self-automated, too. But eventually, he kind of makes a turn down this, he gets out of the city, chat, more towards, like, the countryside, the wealthier part of Gotham that's really actually fallen apart. A lot of those citizens have moved away. They've moved to bigger cities right now, like Coast City and Metropolis. But this old part of Gotham still has one particular resident. And he's going down this windy trail, chat, this windy trail. And who's in the fucking middle of the road, chat? Old man Bruce Wayne. Terry's like, holy shit! And he fucking turns the bike chain. He crashes it right in the side of Bruce's brick fence. And, Bruce walks over to him to make sure he's okay. But then all these fucking jokers is like, oh, it seems our little boy has run into some car trouble. We can help you. And Bruce is like, get off my property. And they're like, what are you gonna do, old man? Beat us up? And Bruce goes, yeah, I'm gonna beat you up. And he proceeds to lay down an ass whooping, chat, just using his fucking cane, the back of his hand, slamming these guys around. He might be an old man, chat, but he still got it. And he's just throwing these guys, and they're like, fuck it. Oh, they're all like, and they all jump on their motorcycles, chat, and they tear ass out. They get out of there as quickly as possible. And Terry, he's a little concussed. We got off his bike, but he recovers. He's like, "Oh, sir, thank you so much. I can't, I'm surprised you could do that. That's amazing. I've never seen something like that." And Bruce is like nearly collapsed, Chad. He's holding his chest. He's using the wall to balance himself. He's like, "Oh my God, sir? Are you okay?" He's like, "My medicine. I need my medicine." He's like, okay, I'll help you. And he's like, he puts Bruce over his shoulder, Chad. He's carrying him inside. Bruce opens the gate. Wayne, with the big W and everything, walks in. Then, this fucking dog comes out of nowhere, Chad, and just starts barking. Terry's like, shit. And Bruce is like, down, Ace, down. It's okay. It's okay. And Bruce, this is, I love this because the sense of humor, Bruce's sense of humor is so goddamn dry. Where Terry goes, nice dog, and Bruce goes, not really. So Ace is about to rip his ass apart. Very loyal. I love the story between Bruce and Ace when he found him as an abused puppy, chat. The dog episode in this series is great. Yeah, there's a giant demon bulldog, but I like Ace's origins, chat. It's Bruce's only friend at this point in his life, and he's fiercely loyal to Bruce. And, Terry takes him up to Wayne Manor, Chad. He goes inside. He sets him down in his chair. We see, I love this. Again, you might miss this stuff, but all the furniture, chat, is sheets on it. It's all covered up with the exception of a couple things where Bruce probably just sits there and fucking broods all day. But I love it. Like, this is not the home where, Barbara and Bruce, or Barbara and Tim and Dick would be, and Alfred would be keeping this, warm. Like, now that Alfred's gone, Chad, Bruce is like, I don't want to do anything. I'm not going to dust or it's fallen in disrepair. It's a sad state of affairs, chat. I don't remember if Alfred is mentioned again. I'm not sure in the animated series. Maybe there are a couple references to him. I don't recall. It's been so long. But Terry, he gets the medication in Bruce's room, which is the same bedroom from the original animated series, which I thought was really cool. He brings it back down. He gives it to Bruce with the water, and he's like, thank you. And he goes, well, do you need anything else, or I can call the police, or I can get going, and then Bruce just fucking passes out. He exhausts himself so much he just passes out. And Terry's like, or I can just leave. And so he's about to leave, and he goes to the door. But then he opens it. The fucking Ace is there, just barking at him. He goes, shit, okay, I can't go there. Maybe I'll just call my dad, let him know what happened. Which is, it's responsible. So he goes to the phone, Chad. It's like right where Bruce is, kind of right in the living room space. Takes the phone. He's about to dial the number, and he sees the clock. There's a bat inside the clock. And trying to get out, and he goes, what the hell? And he puts the phone down. He goes over there. He sees the bat just almost like it's stuck, and he goes, all right, shit, I'll get you out of there. Just don't bite me now. And he opens it up, Chad. He opens it up, but he can't open this one part, and here's this sound. He's like, what? And the whole clock moves aside, and this bat goes down the stairway, and he goes, what the hell is this? And he goes down the stairway, Chad. And he's all in total darkness, but he just hears some chirping. He hears like the whirring of like power generators, and he switches aside, flips on the switches, chat. And first we see the Batmobile, then we see the Batwing, we see the Batbike, chat. We see the computer, we see all the Batman costumes. This lab, and Terry's like, oh my God! And he steps down here, and he sees all this. He sees all the memorabilia, chat. Pristine as it was when we first saw it in the original animated series, and he's like, holy shit, Bruce Wayne is, and then bam, right over the fucking head. And Carrie's like, ah! And Bruce is like, get the fuck out of my house. He's like, okay. And he just starts running, and he starts running up those goddamn stairs as old man. You do not want old man Bruce Wayne chasing after you, Chad, because Bruce is, he may have like a heart attack. He's like, you get your goddamn ass out of my house, or the Robin tights for you, the Robin tights. And Bruce is just chasing him out of his house, just going as fast as he fucking can. And Terry, he just gets the fuck out of there. I love it. Oh, thank you, Stranger Shoe, for the 4 base. You're Adam West there. But he just gets out of there. Ace is trying to bite his ass. He's like, oh, shit, Christ. He jumps over the fucking fence. He's like, oh, my God. Jeez, you crazy old man. Holy shit. He gets back on the bike, Chad. Thankfully, was still there. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to go home. And eventually, he gets home, chap, but his dad's house, his dad's apartment, completely surrounded by police vehicles. The paramedics are there, Chad, ambulances, fire department. And he goes, what the hell? And he goes inside the house, Chad. And then we see it. Brilliant. All the hallways, Chad. Ha, 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 ha. All spelled out. And he goes, oh, my God. And he runs up the stairs, Chad. All these other apartments and buildings have also been ransacked. People have been murdered. And he goes there. He sees his mom. The mom's just like, Terry, oh, thank God you're okay. He goes, Mom, what happened? And she goes, it was, apparently it was a break-in. The Jokers broke in at a robbery, and they came after your father. And he's like, where's Dad? She goes, and then she can't say, she has nothing to say. And he goes in there, Chad. He goes into his father's room, his bedroom, and yeah, they don't show you, Chad, but they murdered him. They horrifically disfigured him, everything. It was a closed casket funeral, chat. This show is fucking dark. This is a closed casket funeral, okay? And then we cut to the TV screens of, I think it's Derek Powers is watching the funeral. Or no, not Derek Powers. It's we're back at the apartment. They went to the funeral, chat. We have Max sitting there watching the news, Terry's younger brother. And they have the funeral, and it's like, Warren Mcginnis is survived by his former wife, Mary, and 2 sons, Terry and Max Mcginnis. And then we're like cutting to Derek Powers, who was the employer of Warren Mcginnis, a tech expert at Wayne Powers Enterprises. And Derek is like, I am so disgusted that these creatures could take such a upstanding Gotham citizen, an employee of Wayne and Powers Enterprises from us. I will stop at nothing to make sure that justice is given to Warren and the Mcginnis family. My heart goes out to all of them. Please come to me if you ever need anything. And so it's like, oh, fucking Sap, he's a lying son of a bitch. But then we cut to Max, and Max is just like, he doesn't know what to do. And she's like, Mary comes over, and she's like, what do you do, Chad? What do you do with a situation like that? How about you just, I'll make you some dinner and you can go to bed. And he's like, that sounds good, Mom. Meanwhile, Mary, she's looking for Terry, who's living with them now. And she goes to their guest room, which is now his room, Chad. And he's just sitting there on the bed, just like, it's still in his clothes and everything, just sitting there. And she goes, do you want some dinner? And he goes, the last thing I said to him, Mom, I said all these horrible things to him. It's very reminiscent of I realized, chat, that Raimi may have copied this from Spider-Man 2002. He copied this scene, chat. It's very similar. Thank you, Betcha. I'd suit up. Yes, indeed, Betcha. Thinking with my buddies. But he's just sitting there, and he's saying, like, the things I said to him, and he was trying to tell me at the time, and I just threw it right back in his face, and I didn't understand, and I could have been there. And Mary's like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, Terry. He's like, but something doesn't make any sense. Like, Dad would never open. He would never open the door for the Jokers. He would look. He would check beforehand. It doesn't make any sense, Mom. And she's like, Terry, it's okay. Not that it's okay, but it's just. And she says, I just love you. And they hug. It's a beautiful moment. It's such a beautiful moment. Terry, he did not ugly cry. He didn't go, no ugly cry from Terry Mcginnis. But he's just overwhelmed by emotion. He's like, what can you say in this situation? It's brilliant. And we cut chats like a day later, and Terry's moving all of his stuff in. Some of his form is his dad. He's got a little brother helping him, but his brother's being a little asshole. He's like, "Could you get the door, Max?" He's like, "Fine." Opens the door, and he's like, "God damn it, thank Jesus." And he's walking in. He's like, "You always blame me for everything." He's like, "Yeah, because you mess everything up." And Terry trips, and he drops all these pictures he has. And he's like, "You're going to blame me for that, too?" And Terry just slams the door in his face. He's like, "Hey!" And he goes to one of the frames chat, which is a picture of him and his dad during happier times. He's like, the frame's cracked. But then he notices, chat, there's something inside the frame, in the back of the frame. He turns it around. There's the disc. It's the disc, chat, that his dad, that Tully gave his dad earlier in the episode. And he goes, "What?" He looks at the dad, and he's like, "Oh, my God." And then he reads a note, too, that's attached to it. And he says, "In the event of my death, please make sure this information goes out." And he's like, "In the event of my death?" And so then Terry... he's like, "What do I do? What do I do at this point? Do I go to the police?" But then it's like Powers, like Derek Powers might be involved in my father's death. He doesn't know what to do. And so he goes to the one person who he thinks can help him, chat, and he goes back to Wayne Manor. And, you know, the gates are closed, all the fucking lights are off. It looks like a haunted house, chat, just sitting on top of that hill on the coast of Gotham City. And he hits the beeper button, you know, the speaker system. And he's saying, "Listen, listen, I know it was weird how I left. I didn't tell anyone who you are or anything, but I think that there's something bad happening at your company. My father, he died because of certain things that are going on, and it might be Derek Powers. I don't know if it's you. I just believe that knowing who you were or are, I don't know, that you can help me with this." And there's silence on the line. He's just like, I need your help. I really need your help right now. And just silence. And he goes, "You know what? Fuck it. Forget you. You know, you're just some crazy old man. There's no way you could be Batman. There's no way you could be that person who did all those amazing things back then. You're nothing." And he leaves, chat. He leaves. And there's silence. And then we hear it, chat, right before he's about to leave, chat. The gates of Wayne Manor open for him. And that, chat, is Batman Beyond Episode 1, Rebirth, Part 1. It's like, oh my God. Oh, man. Oh. Peter can talk right now. They talking about her Gertz was better than you. What? Anyway, but yeah, it was just an awesome episode, chat. Just so goddamn good. So goddamn good. I loved it. It's a great setup for what's to come, Chad. What's to come. Yeah. But thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed the reviews. I know those are a little longer than I thought it would be. I mean, Beyond especially. It was just so much goddamn fun. But hope you guys enjoyed them. Thank you.